G'day Playmates, and welcome to another vid on CSX Heavy Haul, the new second generation train simulator. This is going to be part one of a 4-part series, which is going to look at the longest run on the sand patch grade, which we've got to do in 4 separate bits. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take this service, the U876-A, which is a coal service, and it's going to go from Cumberland on the southern part of the route to Shaw Mine for coal loading. So we're going to be basically taking some empties up from Cumberland Yard west, across the hills, down the tunnel, and then we'll be stopping at Salisbury Junction, and then we'll be pushing on from there down to Shaw Mines. We start at 1432, and we basically got to be there by 1600, because that's when the second part of the scenario starts, which is actually loading the coal, which will be a short video. Once the coal's been loaded up, we'll be then moving the coal from Shaw Mine to Yoda siding, which will be another short scenario. And then finally the last part, the D part, after the A, B and C, is taking that coal back down to Cumberland. So basically it's going to be a run up to the mines with empties, loading the coal, and then running it back full. So there we got it. Okay, let's start. We won't be using an SD40. We'll be using a 38, which is probably which is the least modern of the 3 locomotives that are available to be driven on the sand patch route. Just waiting for the splash screens to load through. I've chosen for the scenario an autumn day with a fair bit of cloud. This will be the train that we'll be using, the GP38-2, and I've chosen a cloudy day with a little bit of wind. Okay, so here we are in cab. Time is 14:32. I suppose we better get cracking straight away. So let us get on the lights. We'll put the front light on bright. We'll put the rear light on dim. Let's just have a quick look at the consist. Okay, so we're going to be using a double-headed train to drag these empty coal trucks up, and at the back we've also got a double header as well. Okay, so we'll be using 4 trains for this. Let us let's put on the ditch lights. Should I put on the no, I'm not going to bother putting the gauge lights on. Okay, let us get moving. Let's just check that the cutoff valve is freight and the MU208 is lead. That's looking good. Let's Let's turn this off because we don't need that. Okay, so independent brake off and automatic brake off, forwards, and we will accelerate away. It's actually quite an easy pull away there. Of course, it's an easy pull away because all the trucks, all the consists are empty. Okay, so here's our first location. We got to cross over onto the next track. Okay, that's completed. Okay, we've got to go the left routes. Okay, now let us check that we're going to go the right route here. Yep. That was just a very, very quick change. Just managed to make that. That point's change. So we don't have a second man available today. I did make a mistake. I should have done that when we pulled away. Okay, so we got to go via the left route. Let us check the points that everything is looking good. I'm not sure whether we need to change here or not. No, that's okay. Yep, that's all right. Let's throttle up a little bit more. Oops. Going a little bit fast. I'm going to try and keep to the speed limits as per the requirements of the game. Yep, that's looking good. Yep, another objective complete. We've got to go via the crossing. To the right, these two tracks here are the main tracks up and down. So we're just on subsidiaries. Let's just check that the crossing is going to be correct. We're which is going to be up here. Yep, so it looks like we're all lined up for that. Yep, so I don't think we've got to change any points. That sort of spot, that tiny little white spot that you can see there in the front, is basically the center of line of sight from me. Obviously, I can turn that off along with the rest of the HUD. I'll turn that back on again and let us throttle up. Now, just check that we're looking okay here. Yep. Coming out of Cumberland Yard now. Yep, that's all looking good. Yep, objective complete. And our next port of call is the Cumberland Yard exit signal, which should basically drop us from the track onto the left to the far track on the right. Which is the far track on the right is basically the northern route to Rockwood. Okay, so we should get switched onto the far right track. Okay, so we're now going to go via the main line. Just check our route. Yep, it's looking good. Okay, and now lead engines now on the main line, heading out of Cumberland, north and west for Rockwood. Okay, so our next port of call is Hindman or Hindman, it's one of the two. A downline train coming past us. One of the intermodal trains. Obviously loaded up. Quite a long one as well. All right, back into the cab. And a bit more speed up. Just stick our head out of the window. So you can see some russets and some autumn colours in the trees, in the foliage. Stick our head out of the other side, and we've got the creek, the river. Check our dials. So we've got 11 miles to Hindman. Obviously, as you can see on a few odd times, we've had some stuttering with some bad frame rates. I might actually edit those out to give a bit of smooth continuity. Oh, just put some more throttle on. Now go up to 35. Yeah, this first part of the journey up to Hindman, you can really clock on as compared to the rest where you're basically climbing. Well, with it being autumn, it's a little bit cool. We might put the heater on, put it on low. Oops, a little bit faster than we should be. Having said that, we've got a 50-mile-an-hour sign coming up right here. Obviously, we can't do 50 miles an hour until the whole train has passed that sign. We've got quite a long train. So as soon as the back end of the train passes that 50 sign, we'll be able to throttle up a bit. And there is the sign, so that should pop up. Yep, popped up to 50. Let's throttle up. And this, of course, is the fastest part of the journey. And I'm going for a slightly different HUD setup. Basically, this location icon is the only floating icon up in the window. The signals and the speeds I've put up here. So yeah, you can see that next speed limit is still 50 miles an hour, and our next signal, which is green, is in a mile, rather than have those icons floating like that. And obviously the loco number is 8024. I think that's the paintball place on Google Maps. And another down train. This time a car carrying consist. Looks like it's fairly busy on this line today. See where we are on the map. Yeah, okay. So essentially we've pretty much started here. Once we get to Heinemann, then we've got to drop speed and we really start to climb once we so this is pretty much going to be the limit of our 50 miles an hour speed limit. Going to drop to about 25, I seem to remember from memory. Yeah, yellow, green signal, looking good. I'm going to start to slow when we when we get within about 1.5 miles of Heinemann. As you can see from the hood, we're already beginning to climb ever slightly, 0.6%. Okay, once that 2 drops to a 1, we'll know that we've got pretty much exactly 2 miles to Heinemann. And just after Heinemann, we've got to make sure that we're down to 25 miles an hour. Okay, 2 miles has dropped down to 1, which means that there are just under 2 miles left now. I'd start to throttle down. And then once we get within 1 mile, yeah, we're getting on the outskirts of Heinemann now. We'll apply the automatic brake. Yeah, there's the famous chassis rail cars there. Okay, we will start to apply brakes to get down to 25 miles an hour. Throttle up. And we're approaching the Heinemann Bridge over the river. And this is where we start to climb. I think that's Hogback Road at Heinemann. Okay, yep. Alright, we're now really beginning to climb here. It's at 1.5. I think it gets up to about 1.9. Yep, you can see that the indicators clicked in on the HUD at 25. And our next location is Fairhope in 3 miles. Another small village on the route. Quite nice autumn colours. As you can see, I'm constantly having to juggle the throttle between 4 and 3. And the rear of the train. Should be a fairly straightforward run. All the signals should all be at green. Uh, 15 minutes past 3. We've got to get there by, well, before 4 o'clock. It's looking okay. I think we should be pretty much on. Whoops, pretty much on time. A mile to go to Fairhope. another 500 yards to the Fairhope location. Fairhope is actually quite a tiny, one of the smaller of the sort of villages on this route, so we won't be seeing much in the way of housing. Yep, another objective complete. And our next location is 8 miles away, which is Mans. Which is quite a well-known part of this sandpatch route. It's basically a really large horseshoe bend that's got a bit of a viewing promontory from a single farmhouse in the middle of it. Quite a popular place, I'm led to believe, with train spotters on this route. I think that's Fairhope Road, if I'm not mistaken. So once we go around the large horseshoe bend at Mans, if I get to this side of the train and look back, should be able to see almost the entire length of the train along the horseshoe bend. Quite nice lighting effects. So we keep climbing. Still a little bit misty in the afternoon. And the first of the two tunnels. This is the short one. And we've still got a fairly firm gradient, 1.2. We don't actually start to descend until we get to Sandpatch, through the Sandpatch tunnel. Which I can't remember is either, I know it's 4,000 odd, I'm not sure whether it's yards or meters, maybe yards, but it's reasonably lengthy tunnel. And a lot of people have, I guess quite rightly, got quite annoyed about the frame rates. Even some of the really top systems are only consistently getting about 30 frames. So there's been a lot of complaints, mainly about, I think, the optimization of the game. And a lot of people, well, a reasonable number of people got refunds as soon as the game came out. To be honest, I'm just happy to play this rather than the original Train Simulator 2017. So it is a pain in the arse, but yeah, just the trade-off of the second generation of this type of game is just, yeah. I really think that this is a very good train sim, much better, of course, than the standard Train Simulator, the 2017. Just a major update in the scenery. Major update in the scenery, and of course being able to get out of the train cab and walk about. At the moment, there's no support for track IR or any of the head tracking hardware setups. but I think it probably get implemented because it certainly is in Train Simulator 2017. Little bit of graphics glitching. For instance, down here you can see some sort of some evidence of that. But it is a brand new game. It's only been out a couple of weeks. It's received one patch so far. There is no downloadable content for this game yet, so it's pretty much what you see is what you get, which is essentially a bunch of tutorials, a bunch of scenarios, and then what I'm doing at the moment, which is just running a timetable service. There's about 30 odd of those. So there's a reasonably sizable amount of content in this. And as I say, this is the first part of 4 separate parts. This is part A, the run of empty coal trucks up from Cumberland to Shaw Mines. Shaw Mines is actually a spur line which joins onto Salisbury Junction, which joins onto the main line. The spur line is quite short. In fact, we'll have a quick look at it. And here's the spur line there. Okay, so here's our current location. Still climbing. This is the famed horseshoe bit at Mance, and then this is Salisbury Junction. We'll be stopping beyond that, and then we'll be reversing all the way down here. You see it's still quite cloudy, a little bit of wind. Quite nicely modelled trees. Uh, 3 miles to go to Mans. And I might just stretch my legs a little bit. Sit in the second man's seat. Probably slowing down a fair bit now. Better get back in the seat. Yep, throttle up. Okay, all right. It's interesting. We have got a yellow signal showing in a mile. So I don't know why that would be. Maybe the line further on from that's not clear. Okay, so I have to keep an eye on that. Okay, I think that this is the beginning. No, it's not. Okay, now we've got a little bit to go to the horseshoe. Let's check and see whether there's any trains nearby in front. No, now we're looking good there. So I really got no idea why we've got a yellow signal coming up. Well, anyway, we shall find out in just over 500 yards what the story is. Signals are generally placed every 2 miles on this section of track, this particular route. Okay, bit of a false alarm. Our next signal is green. And as you can see from the gradient at 1.5%, we're still climbing. It is quite a long climb. Conversely, on the way back with a full load of coal, we'll really be putting the brakes on to stick to 25 miles an hour. Yep, we're getting onto the horseshoe now, so let's nip back into the cab. At the apex of this horseshoe is Man's Post Office. Actually, we probably won't be able to see towards the end of the train. I think that it's just going to be too misty. I think we're going to be out of luck there. That's the farmhouse there on top of the and there's Man's Post Office. And normally on a clear day you'd be able to see right the way across the horseshoe to see the back end of the trucks, the back end of the train. Another objective done. And our next objective is to stop in 5 miles, ready for the reverse into Shaw Mine. It is quite important that we actually do that, that we actually use the rather than stop the train, get out, move to the back of the current part of the train, and then get in one of the into the front locomotive and drive forwards. This specifies that you have to stay in this cab and you have to push the consist down to Shaw Mines by reversing. And that's the only way this scenario works. If you try and get out and go to the front and drive from the front, it doesn't work. Okay, so we've got what? 13 minutes to get there, so I'm pushing it a little bit. They've moved us onto the down line, and now onto the outer line, away from the main lines. And I'm going way too fast. Should only be doing 20 at the moment. Let's bring the speed back. Actually should only be doing 10 miles an hour on this spur. This little bit of the line here. So I don't know whether I'm going to make this on time or not. I may be late. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to try and push as much as possible. And we're back off the third line, back onto the down line. Okay, yep, our speed limit's been pushed to 25. Take advantage of that, throttle up. And here we've got Sandpatch Tunnel, which, as I say, is quite a long one. And this is pretty much where the climb flattens out. And once we get past the tunnel, it'll start to descend slightly to Salisbury Junction. And there you got it, the Sandpatch Tunnel. Okay, now you can see immediately there's a change in the gradient. We're actually now heading downhill, only slightly downhill, 0.4%, but Right now we're, whoops, yep, that's sand patch right there. Okay, I had better start applying some brakes. Just using the independent brakes. They're managing to give me the stopping power that I need, rather than the automatic brakes or the dynamic brakes. There we got a rock fall and road out. Next signal in a mile is at yellow, which we sort of expect, because I presume that the signal after that is going to be red. We've got to stop in 3 miles time. No way in the world we're going to make it to Shore Mines for 4 o'clock. Luckily, you don't get penalized for sticking to a timetable on this route, which is a good job. Because we're idling, we've still got the reverser forward, but because we're idling, we can actually use the dynamic brake, which I'll use now. Bring it in at 3, 4, 5, which basically uses the. I better drop it up to 7. Yep, that's beginning to slow us down quite nicely. Which uses the train's electric motors to provide braking. And as you can see from the gauge here, we're using power to actually brake the engines. Okay, 2 miles away. Might just ease off on the brakes a little bit. Yeah, it's just gone 4 o'clock and we've still got 2 miles to go to Salisbury Junction. So we're already out of time. And we're coming up to, I think this is Marysdale. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. We'll move the dynamic brake up to 7. Start to slow this lot down. I think it's Meyersdale we're just passing, I think. Just bring this dynamic brake back to... in fact, we might actually pull the dynamic brake off now, and we'll use the automatic brake, which is this one, to do our main braking. We're not going to need a lot of braking power because, as I say, even though it's a long train, it's not loaded, so we can stop reasonably quickly, hopefully. We're between 1 and 2 miles from our stopping point. I might hit the independent brake. Just keep our speed at 20. Just dropped a little bit too much speed there. Let's bring it back up to 20. And we're just coming up to the junction now. Okay, this is the line here that will be going down towards the mines. And this is Salisbury Junction. And we're gonna be getting this train ready for stopping. As we get round this corner. Now we got a red signal in 2 miles. I still don't know which train line is coming over this viaduct. I guess I'll have to look it up one of these days. Okay, we soon time to put on the automatic brake. Just gradually slowing the train down. A little bit too much. Okay. The brake on full service. Objective complete. Okay, now we have to stop at Shaw Mine. So let's have a quick look and see what we've got to do. Okay, the points have been set for us to head down this way. So here's the back end of our train. In fact, actually, we might set that up there. And also, yeah. Okay, so back in the cab, we need to put that into reverse. And we will take off the brake, and we will start to reverse. I'm not sure of the speed on this spur. I think it's 25 miles an hour. Yes, it is. In fact, it's 15 miles an hour. As you can see, we're already almost 10 minutes late. Admire a bit of the scenery while we're heading along here on this autumn afternoon. To brake a little bit. We got a 1.1 gradient. I probably slowed it down a little bit too much. This is the environs of Mayorsdale. We'll release the brakes, a bit more throttle. The bridge. Looks like we've got some road repairs here. Yep. Next signal is showing in 2 miles, a red signal. think this is one of the larger villages or towns on the route. Obviously, Cumberland is the largest. I think Meyersdale is or Rockwood might be actually the largest. Anyway. I got the yep, that was the road up that we saw from the back end of the train, which I guess is the front end of the train now, because I'm driving from the back end. Train stretching away into the distance, well into the distance. Reasonable amount of traffic on the roads. Okay, we're beginning to go uphill now, so we'll throttle up a bit. Slight gradient, 0.4%. And with it being autumn, the sun's getting ready for setting. So what I'll do when I run the second part of this series of videos, I'll make sure to use the same weather settings. And the same time of year. Although we can change the weather settings, but it's the time of year we need to keep. And we're coming to the coal mines now. This is the Shaw mine. Obviously with the coal loader there and the mining works over here. So essentially we'll be going past here and bringing the train to a halt once we've got past the shoreline, the loader. And then we'll be hopping to the end of the train where I am, which will be here, to load the coal. Okay, we better. It's going to be fairly easy to stop the train since we don't have much speed up. As I seem to remember, the front of the train needs to stop here. So I'm going to go to the front part of the cab now. Just slow it down to about 5 miles an hour. Huh. It's great to see all this coal dust on the underneath the coal loader. That's quite a good touch, is that? Okay, slow this down a little bit more. I think we should be stopping just beyond this crossing here. Okay, let's see how we go there. Okay, all right. So we've completed the first part of this video, which is the empty coal train from Cumberland to Shaw Mines. 43 miles. I haven't walked any distance. Taken us nearly 2 hours though. 2,500 points. And let us continue. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is to go via this location, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to leave that for another video, so I'm going to shut this down. Oops, actually I'll put the full brake on. That's off. Turn the lights off. The engine run, generator field. Turn that off. Those lights. Okay, turn the heater off. That's that. Get out of the chair. And we will turn those off. We'll go from run to stop. We'll turn the engine off. Turn the main breaker off. And we are done here. Okay, so the next video should show 8024 right there, which will be part B. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.